Yes, I have returned.
Finally, Vlad has come back from wherever he went to. Thank you, Vlad, for being on the Malapert Smart podcast. We are back on the air recording on November 17th. We've been away for a couple weeks. Haven't had a show out for a couple weeks, been on break. So there's some things we missed out on talking about. And I wanted to talk about LA Knight's feud with Roman Reigns. We did talk about some of it, but we never got to talk about the finish of it, the match they had at Crown Jewel, which was on November 4th on a Saturday. Here's a little clip from it. Let's watch a little bit from the ending. This was where the interference started, which we all know was going to happen. And Jimmy Uso came in to help Roman Reigns get his foot up on the rope, break the 3 count, and LA Knight's look on his face when he thought he was going to be the Universal Champion. And he had to deal with Jimmy Uso, and we all saw the storyline coming, so it was very predictable. Honestly, I didn't even really watch this match. I had Crown Jewel on. It was in the morning when I was here in LA, and I just kind of fell asleep, and I knew what was going to happen, and I never went back and watched it. But do you have any thoughts about that match in particular?
Saw it coming. We knew that Roman was going to retain somehow, some way. It ended up being his usual way. It was a good match. It had a good flow to it. It was a solid work match, I think, for the most part. And the ending was, you're right, quite predictable. It was kind of like Roman's usual matches where there's some sort of interference and he gets the upper hand at the end because of the interference, and he wins the match with one of his, like, spear.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
1, 2, 3.
He's got to be the worst champion ever. I mean Hogan, I guess. He's pretty much like Hollywood Hogan, just cheating every single time.
Basically, since he's won the title, but this is
cheated every single time.
Because he's been the champion for what now? Like, it's going on 3 years, right? More than 3 years, right? So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like Roman a lot, you know that. But I think we're getting near that time where we need to see something new.
Yeah,
as far as
it's getting a little ridiculous. He's just gonna cheat every single time until the end of time. I mean, I've mentioned on the show I could see it happening for years. I think it could happen for years.
5 more years, but I don't see
5 more years. So he could pass Bruno Sammartino's record and be the greatest of all time. Any thoughts again? Because we were talking about how a loss could hurt LA Knight's push or whatever. Do you have any thoughts about how he came out of this after losing?
It was a concern, but I think it was okay. He didn't end up looking too bad, in this whole mess. I think he'll be all right. It was a concern that I had, like I said, but, it depends what they do with him next and where he goes from here as well. Because if he's done with Roman, which is like the highest you could go, right? But where do you go? Obviously, whatever you're going to do next is going to be below that. But as long as they don't completely kill his momentum and he keeps going up and up.
Well, he did. Sorry, on the match last week, the SmackDown we didn't review, he beat Grayson Waller, so they gave him another win. Let him cut a promo too. Yeah, it's Grayson Waller, I know. But tonight, I don't think you saw SmackDown yet, but he fought Jimmy Uso, which was a revenge thing for Jimmy Uso, costing him the match against Roman.
Is he still then involved with the Bloodline? Is he still involved in that feuding with them?
That's what it seems like. So I don't know if he's going to get another match with Roman, but yeah, he's going to feud, I think, with Solo next, maybe. So something like this. So you feel like this could still happen for him? Do you see him being a future world champion?
I think right now, yes, but I still got to see more. I think he has a lot of upside in the sense that he has a great look. The fans are still digging him. He gets the best reaction. Anyone in the arena when he comes out, his music plays, the crowd goes crazy. They're into all his catchphrases and whatnot. And he's a pretty solid worker. Like, I don't think he's I don't know. I'm trying to think of some great, like the next Bret Hart or anything like that. He's not a technician, but he's, his work is solid and he doesn't do anything embarrassing. And he's a good worker in the sense that he doesn't hurt anybody out there and he has good matches. And, I've never seen him doing anything awful. And of course, he's money on the mic, which is always a good thing. It's a good thing to be.
All right, then. Well, listen, Vlad, before we move on to other topics, I want to remind the fans out there, please subscribe if you're digging our content. If you're bored, you just need something to listen to. We could use the numbers, too. We need some subscribers. Come on. Come on, baby. But this is the Malapert Smart Podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on social media, Instagram. Go on clips when you're scrolling through. Doom scrolling, as they say. But we will be back with more clips after this. I've been Kahan, and that has been Vlad, the wrestling expert. Stay tuned for more wrestling talk on our channel. Thank you very much for listening.